Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends, as this video is brought to you by drroto.com.
Good evening, my friends. After a couple weeks off, we are back. I'm Johnny Danger. With me is Coach Al White, and this is In the Cup. I don't have a cup today, Al, but I have a can.
Yeah, I'm just rocking a glass of water, man.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy on this Wednesday night for the players.
Well, I mean, I'm not at a green screen. I promise you. I'm actually on 17, waiting for them to set up the grandstand still, which it seems like they're a little behind schedule.
I would think so, but if
Just
you're
saying.
there, I mean, you should definitely have some sort of drink in your hand.
It's true. I'm actually drinking a Hoplark. It's a hopped sparkling tea. Have you ever had those?
I have not.
Not alcoholic. It's literally black tea hopped with citra hops and carbonated. It's delicious.
Interesting. Kind of like kombucha.
Just tea, like iced tea, but carbonated with hops.
Right on, man.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, and I love it. And I think that you should try it. And I'm not paid to say that, but I'm gonna say it anyways. So there it is. So man, I mean, we have the Players Championship, right? We've got an amazing field. I saw somewhere 48 of the top 50 in the world are here. They're ready to go with me. I mean, maybe helping to set the grandstand up that appears not to be done yet. But I'm excited. I'm excited. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's the players. I'm super excited. It's going to be a crazy week with weather. Nobody really knows where to attack. AM, PM waves are, talk of the town right now. I don't really think there's an advantage either way, unless you get super lucky and then one of the waves doesn't have to play in really bad weather and gets to wake up early and finish their round. That would be the only real way they would get the advantage.
Sure.
But outside of that, we can't predict those things. We can try all we want, but nobody has that finite answer. So, I mean, really, it's just finding out the plays that we want to play and sticking with it and not getting too cute and switching a couple hours prior to lock. Just let's play the guys we like. And just
but
roll
that's
with it.
my signature move, Al, is to tinker till the last minute and take all the winners out. That's how I play DFS.
I mean, that's PGA golf, right? That's just that's any DFS period, but
Right.
PGA golf is you definitely do that a lot more than others because there's so many different options.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a fairly difficult course.
It is.
And we're going to have rain and some more rain and then some rain again. And then it's going to be cold and it's going to get windy to finish it up on Sunday, if it finishes on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as difficult as the past couple weeks, though. I mean, the winning score here should be, if it turns into live clean in place Thursday and Friday, I'm thinking 16 under is very realistic.
All right, fair.
Last week the winner was 5 under, so obviously that played a lot harder. Before that, Farmers and Genesis, both challenging courses, so that it's a really good spot in the schedule where the players that have played those last 3 challenging tournaments, they kind of know what it takes to avoid those big numbers and then score on the par 5s where you're going to really gain your edge against the field on these par 72s where there's 4 of them in each round.
Yeah. Is there any kind of metric that you like to look at? Is there players that play well when it's pouring and raining and the ball sticks? Who does that help in the field?
Yeah, so that's a challenge because this week it's a mixed bag of Thursday, Friday possibly being live clean in place, and then Saturday, Sunday the wind picks up. So those are 2 very different metrics.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Euro guys, Australian players. They're always better in the wind, just naturally. That's what they grew up playing in. Even Florida guys, they're used to this type of wind. So targeting guys that grew up on the coast, even in the United States, they're used to the winds. But live clean in place, a whole nother story. Like I love Jordan Spieth on a live clean in place or a Rory McIlroy, but those 2 in the wind, I mean, they're not bad options, but I would rather take like right now, Morikawa's been really good in the wind, which is surprising. I mean, Hideki's great in the wind. You got Shane Lowry, even Oosthuizen. You've seen compete at majors when it gets super windy. So that's the best part about this week is I think ownership's going to be so spread out because of the weather that we can really just hammer the players we like and not worry so much about ownership.
Have you looked through ownership? Who's riding high right now?
Yeah, so the biggest plays right now are you're gonna have Morikawa, Daniel Berger, Justin Thomas, Rahm, Matthew Fitzpatrick. Those are probably gonna be your top five. Cantlay might even be number one, honestly. The more and more I've heard just that 9,900 is a real nice price tag for Cantlay. Shane Lowry's getting up there quite a bit in ownership, and I think people are really buying into that win narrative. And then even like Corey Connors down at 7,300 is going to be the chalk in that area, and Chris Kirk, because last week, if you played well on the weekend, it was a windier tournament. So I'm sure a lot of people are just looking at how they finished on Saturday and Sunday last week, even though it is a different tournament. There is some merit to that, and I do like some of those plays as well. But there are plenty of pivots. It's the players. I mean, paying 7,300 for Corey Connor seems like a ridiculous price tag, but you have some other great players in that price range, which we'll get to here shortly.
Yeah, really not a surprise. I was talking to you pre-show. Vegas is very heavily favoring Colin Morikawa is the odds-on most money bet on in Vegas. And the lineup generator percentage over at Fantasy National is showing that he's showing up in 22% of lineup generator lineups. So that's high. That's real high. High enough to scare you away, or high enough to maybe just temper a few lineups?
No, I like Colin Morikawa. Like I said, I'm going to hammer the players I like. And for me at the top, it is those top three. It's Rahm, Rory, and Morikawa. I am a little bit, like I even said pre-show, I don't think I have a single lineup with Hovland, which is scaring me. And
he's number one in my model, and we all know that I am the best professional model maker in the business. So
that's what I've heard. That's true. Yeah, that is the word around town.
It is. It's totally.
So, with those three at the top, I think you can be super different at the bottom, but like any other tournament, it's finding one that you just absolutely love and plugging them into pretty much every other lineup. And there's some where I've crammed in both. I have a few lineups with Rory and Morikawa because there are good value in that high 6K range. You can have 4 6K guys, one mid 7K, and then 2 of those guys at the top. So I think I'm going to go with Rory as my pick to win this, though.
Oh, wow.
One of those top guys. I'm going to lock in Rory for my first spot in my lineup. So if you're building one, man, let's ride with Rory.
I am going to build one. I'm going to build a winner take all because, Coach, I believe in you that much that you're going to help me take the whole field down.
Let's do it, man. I mean, what is there, like 100 players in that? It's probably like
100 players.
Beautiful. We can do that. And Rory's a great way to get ownership leverage too. I mean, right now I haven't calculated around 10 to 14% given the tournament. And, I have Rahm and Morikawa in the 22 to 25 range. So if we're almost getting half the ownership on Rory, and he does have 5 straight top 15s. Like, it's not like Rory is just playing bad golf. I don't see why people aren't going to him. He won like 2 years ago. I don't know where the disconnect is, but if it turns into lift clean in place, like Rory's just going to be hitting lawn darts on Thursday and Friday.
Right. I mean, his background is wet and windy golf.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what he does.
I don't understand it, honestly. And I keep going back to ownership to check to see if it's like inflated, and it's not. It's actually getting worse. People keep talking up Rahm and Morikawa, and I'm just going to keep banging that Rory drum.
Morikawa, and I noted pre-show that the biggest line jump today was Daniel Berger, and it's showing over at Fantasy National. They have him projected to now be the second highest owned guy. So, a lot of movement, and Rory is not in those conversations. So interesting. What about Justin Thomas taking a run at being the first back-to-back champion?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's never been done. So, do we think it? I mean, it can be done. Of course, it can be done. And Thomas is the type of player that can do it. It's not like Siwoo is going to go back. Thomas is a type of player that can absolutely go back to back and do it. And right now, he's on a stretch of golf where he's coming off of 8th place at the Phoenix, 6th place at the Genesis, took 20th at the Farms before that, and he's gaining strokes everywhere. He's
Mhm.
he's not really lacking any part of his game. Like right now, John Rahm is so good tee to green, but his putting has been atrocious these past few weeks. And that's why people are going back to him. And I understand it. And I like Rahm this week. But, putting is so unpredictable. Right now, Justin Thomas plays super well. His putter is last few times out, almost gained 4 strokes on the greens. Puts well on any type of surface. And, when he won this tournament last year, he gained only 1.6 strokes on the green. So it's not like you have to do a ton. You just have to get the ball on the green and keep your ball in the fairway. I don't think people are weighting fairway accuracy enough this week, Danger. There are 17 water holes, and it is super tight. If you're not hitting the fairways, there's also bunker line fairways. So, you're going to be hitting off these awkward lies if you're not putting that ball in the fairway.
And reports I'm seeing is the rough is very rough this year.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
it's been a lot of water, a lot of moisture down there. It's overseeded. It's going to be thick.
It is going to be thick. And if you don't have the power to get past some of these big traps in the fairway, you're going to be struggling big time. So I'm weighting driving accuracy pretty heavily, especially when that wind starts to pick up Saturday and Sunday, because what's going to happen, if you're not a good driver of the ball, you flare one out, you catch the water, and then you get a double bogey. You can't afford double bogeys at this tournament. It can't happen to contend.
All right. Well,
So,
Victor Hovland, number 1 in my model. Is this somewhere I can, can I fit him in with Rory? Is there enough value here, or do I just got to get over it and trust Coach White?
Yeah, I'm not going to plug in somebody that high. I'm not going to go to Hovland, especially if you're doing just one lineup.
One lineup to rule them all, my friend.
Yeah, there's some value in the 9K range, so let's move down there to fill in this lineup.
All right, let's do that. Cantlay, totally on fire. Great iron player. Really can keep it on the fairway. I think he's still too expensive to kind of pair with Rory, though.
He's too expensive for this lineup, yes. But in general, no. I don't think he's expensive enough for the type of form that he's brought in, the past, 3 months? He has
Absolutely
2 wins, 3 top 5s, and his last tournament out, he took 33rd. And that was like the only time that he lost strokes through approach. And he's been working on approach. If he lost strokes, he went and he figured that out. So I understand why Cantlay is going to be the highest owned. But if he's going to be the highest owned, we don't really want him for a winner take all, right? Because there's going to be probably 50% of the field that has him in 100-man. So if we can find a way to pivot around him, like I would go to Xander or Matsuyama over him this week, or even Scheffler. Why not Scheffler, man? He's won twice in the past 3 weeks. It's not like you're going to lose motivation going to one of the biggest tournaments of the entire year.
But Xander's been salty ever since they moved this from May to March. He's salty about it. He doesn't like that.
Well, he's going to, players are salty. It happens. Rory was a little bit salty about the conditions last week.
Right.
It's not always going to be perfect for these guys, but go prove a point, win the players, Xander, and then you'll actually have a say and people will listen to you.
So, I know Scheffler's been super fire. He's going to be over-owned probably because of that. But how about Brooks Koepka? I told you that he is the second most money in Vegas is on this man. He's not really up near the top of the highest owned. Can he put it together at 86? It's a great price for Brooks.
It is a great price, and we always target Brooks, as everybody is, and he's called the big game hunter, right? He's supposed to be really good at majors, and this is the next closest thing to a major. He doesn't have bad form. He's got a few missed cuts, but sandwiched in between there. At the Phoenix, he took 3rd. At the Honda, he took 16th. His best putting surfaces are Bermuda, which is what we have here at TPC Sawgrass. I don't mind it. I think it's a great price, but I think he is overly bet this week because of the odds that came out. He didn't come in at 22-1. He came in at 35, 40. Some people got him an odds boost on DraftKings at 50-1.
Holy
I understand that.
Yeah,
that's why
fair.
He is bet so high. But
I'm trying to scroll through my model here, and I'm not even finding his name. So it's not good.
Oh, he never pops in a model, man. You cannot trust that. He never pops. He's like 37th on mine.
Right.
For this, yeah. But one thing he does is he's third in bogey avoidance. That's why he competes so well at these bigger events, because he even said it himself in an interview a few years ago. Brooks said that he pretty much plots out about 40 guys or 30 guys in the field that actually have a chance to win this tournament. So he says, all I need to do is just par golf until I find the holes I know I can attack. I get my birdies there. And then before you know it, those other guys just start falling off. And there's 15 of the people that were in his list that don't even make the cut. All right, now I'm only competing against the 25 other guys. I think that's a great way to look at it.
Sure.
That's a super healthy mindset, and it takes a lot of the pressure off. I think that's why he succeeds so well. And he's sixth in shots gained on par fives, so he's going to score on those par fives. There's a reason he wins these, major type events. He just knows how to.
I mean, that sounds like a guy I'd want in an all or nothing lineup at 86.
Let's do it. Why not, man? I don't have enough.
All the things you just said made me want to be like, that's an all or nothing guy.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about second place, Coach White. We care about first place.
That's exactly right. Let's do it. Lock him in.
All right, locked in. Now, who else do you want to talk about in this range here? We got Cam Smith. I can't go an episode without talking about a Cam.
You do love a good Cam. Are you seeing this new Cam Young come up on the scene though?
We talked about him the last time we were on. There was like 5 Cams in that field. It was awesome.
Well, yeah, and I mean, this kid now he's going to be like super high owned in this week too. He's just been playing great. He's going to be like 15% owned at the Players. I mean,
sure.
The Cams are popping up everywhere. You're starting a theme here, Danger.
I know it. I'm a soothsayer. I am. So Jordan Spieth, you talked about him a little bit earlier. You said that he thrives in the wet environment. Do you believe in him? I'm not going to play him in this lineup since I've put Koepka in, but.
Yeah, so I like Spieth in a lift clean in place, but he has to hit fairways for the lift clean in place to even happen, right?
And
if you're not
he struggles with that
you don't
sometimes.
get the lift clean in place out of the rough. That's not how this works. So that's the issue with even Rory. I made that comment. He's really good at lift clean in place, but he also smashes the ball 340 yards down, and just if he hits rough, he's fine with it because he knows how to play out of the rough.
Yeah. Now, I know we talked pre-show that we like some value guys, so I feel like I can get maybe one of these other 8,000 guys in. What about Sungjae?
So Sungjae is just crushing my model, and I don't think he has the upside, man. He does, but I don't know. I like Neiman over him, I think. Neiman showed that winning upside. Sungjae, he's playing good golf, but even last week, he lost pretty much in every category, every major stat category besides putting, where he gained 7.2 strokes on the greens. That's not a sustainable putting number. But if he finds that middle ground, learns how to go back to his consistent ball striking and putts that well, that's how he wins. But I would rather play Neiman or even Adam Scott. Adam Scott has been in a stretch of really good form here. He's got a 38th at the Phoenix, 4th at the Genesis, 26th at the Arnold Palmer, and his putter is en fuego. He has gained almost 14 strokes in the last 2 tournaments combined with his putter. That's the type of putter you're going to need to win an event. So all we need is that old Adam Scott, beautiful ball striker. And if the wind picks up, he's an Australian-born player.
Yep.
He plays well in these really strong fields. He's a name we all know. And, I mean, as far as green and regulations, he's hitting he's top 15 in this field. That's really what we need this week is fairways and greens and regulations. So I would play Adam Scott in that range over both of those, Sungjae M and Neiman. I'm taking Scott this week.
I like it. And you like him more than Lowry? You think Lowry's getting a little overowned?
Lowry's getting overowned, and I think the shares that were on Scott are going to push down to Lowry. And then I think Scott is actually, people were predicting him to be higher owned at the beginning of the week, but I haven't heard much talk about him at all. So I think he's going to be like one of those guys we thought would be overly owned and just ends up at 9%. And gotcha. I can live with that all day.
All right, moving down a little bit. Usually when I see wind, Matty Fitz usually pokes out to me. Is that still true?
So he is number 2 on ownership. And we don't have to go everybody has to be low on. We don't have to do that. Sure. But there's a reason for it. He's taken 6th, 10th, and 9th in his last 3 tournaments. The thing is, last week, he had 5 birdies total in all 4 rounds of golf, he had 5 birdies. So
Sure.
you had like people that were taking 50th that actually outscored him, who took 9th place because he just wasn't getting birdies. Obviously, I want a guy in the top 10. You know, those bonus points on DraftKings do add up over time. But if I get a guy that's not scoring, like on this type of layout where I say that I think 16 is going to be the winner this year, I don't think Matthew Fitzpatrick's going to get anywhere near that number. I would say like 7 under, and he finishes T45, and then you got a really salty 25% of people rostering him this week.
Okay. All right. So what's here? Max Homa, my homie, Jason Day. I mean, what are we looking at?
Yeah. So for upside, if we're going straight upside, I love Sam Burns and Abe Answer.
Okay.
You know, Abe is in top 5 in this field in driving accuracy. And like I said, you know, when that wind starts to pick up, and you have to hit fairways here, he is struggling. He's in a little bit rough patch of golf, so it's taken a chance for sure. If you want somebody that is just playing really well right now, Paul Casey at 7,400 is an easy click. He just makes cuts. If you like are trying, all right, I need to get 6 to 6 through, Paul Casey's, you know, he's got a really good chance.
Except for Al. Remember the last time we talked about Paul Casey and we said all those things, and you see where it says cuts made 5 out of 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, that last time we talked about putting him in my lineup because he makes cuts was the missed cut. So he's burnt me a little bit. He burnt me a little bit.
Gotcha. And it's hard to go back when somebody burns you like that. I get it. I absolutely get it.
I still like him though. I still like him. I could be down with
him.
But we got to find some value.
I'm loving the Jason Day narrative this week. And I don't know if you saw the news. His mother passed of cancer last week, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So he withdrew from the API.
Yep.
But I feel like if he's ready to come back and play, like anybody that goes back that quickly after such an impactful loss, there's one of 2 things that are happening. Either you're emotionally wrecked and exhausted and you don't have the mental fortitude to finish 4 rounds of golf at a very demanding course, or you find it in yourself and you kind of look up and you just say, hey mom, this one's for you. And I could see that happening this week. I could see like the storybook, like Phil Mickelson winning PGA last year. Jason Day comes out the week after his mom passes and wins the Players for his mom. And then it's like etched into the history of the PGA Tour forever. And I hope that you end up cutting this clip because I just nailed that call.
All right. Fair. I like it. I like it. We'll get back to this range because we're going to have to find some value, and I'm going to like some of these names. But Casey, Day, okay, I dig it. We got a Cam down here, Tringali. But how about Coco? I just like this guy. I want him to win. I just like him. Every time I see him in a field, I enjoy watching him play. I want to see him win.
Me too. And he is going to be so high owned, but I don't care this week. That's the player that I would just want you to put into your lineup because he's not priced high enough. He's just not priced high enough. I think if he wouldn't have 3-putted on, it was like hole 8 last week, and he's really bad putter. He's notoriously bad at putting. But, you know, that 2 extra strokes would have shot him up into the top 5. And, you know, nobody was playing Corey Connors last week. He was actually in that lineup I was talking about for that winner take all for me. So he was, you know, a staple in that lineup. And I just needed him not to be 3-putting like Taylor Gooch was on the same exact day. And unfortunately, that's what happened. But I like him at 7,300. Everybody else likes him at 7,300. But we have enough contrarian plays in that lineup where just rock it, man. Lock in Coco.
All right, I'll put him in there. We'll see how it lays. All right, let me find him. I lost him. There he is. So we talked, you know, a little bit about Gooch pre-show, and you just mentioned him. Look at this dude's fantasy points per game score in this lineup right here, 88.8, and he's 7,200.
Yup. It's because once he makes the cut, he's so good at scoring, and he's incredible at par 5s. I mean, the last time he made the cut and didn't finish, let's see, the top 50 would have been the Houston. So that was last year in 2021. So anytime he makes the cut, he's like top 30 or above. and he's top 30 or above with really good scoring ability. So he'll get like that 3-streak birdie bonus for you, and then before you know it, he gets a double bogey. He doesn't finish super high, but his points are still in the top 15.
Yeah, I mean that's really high for 13 contests. They're tracking at 88.8 fantasy points.
It's really high. And he just came off in an approach, 6.3 strokes gained through approach and he had 2 really windy rounds. So that's an incredible number. He was top 3 in approach last week. Gooch is a great play. 7,200.
Right. I'm going to drop him in there just for now. We'll hold it there. We'll see. That leaves us 79 for our final spot. So that's good, but maybe we can find something else down here.
Yeah, so we're staying in that 7K range. Let's say you don't go with that. All right, we go a little bit lower. Some of my favorite names. I don't think a lot of people are playing Keith Mitchell. He's only at 7,100. Last week, he came in at like 22% ownership. Yeah, he made the cut, took 61st, burned a lot of people. But right before that, 12th, 10th, 9th. And now I haven't heard his name mentioned. And the Players is very similar to the Honda and to the Phoenix. It's tight fairways that demand you hit greens in regulation. His best putting service is Bermuda. Killer Keith Mitchell, I really like where his game's at, and he's one of those few players that we just need to ride the hot streak while he's in it, because he's going to go in a place where he misses 5 to 6 cuts in a row. So I think the Players is the place to attack him. If we're not going 7,100, let's say we want to get a little bit lower. Chris Kirk's getting some love this week. Don't mind it. Really good at avoiding the bogeys. Can score when he needs to. Lantel Griffin's a good play. Everybody's liking Alexander Noren. They're hopping on a little bit late.
I was going to say, man, we've been talking about him for like 2 months now.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've been late. I've been rocking him for the 6th, 48th, and 5th. I had him the last 3 events. I mean, he's paid off handsomely for me. And he's just his irons, he's figured them out, and they're getting better every week. So I understand why people are going back to him. I don't mind that play at all, especially if the winds pick up. You know, we got another Euro player that can play in the heavy winds on Saturday and Sunday.
Fair enough. And then, of course, pre-show, you have this like conundrum about Emiliano Grillo.
Yes.
Like all the time. I'm going to put you to the screws, land on a decision, in or out. Not necessarily this lineup, but.
Yeah, I'm out. I think he makes the cut, but I think he takes like 45th. And I think I'd rather play Bradley or Harmon in that same exact price range. Harmon just is a menace on these greens. Let's see, I had written it up in my article. Hold, please. Yes. So on 3 separate visits, he has gained over 5 strokes at TPC Sawgrass on the greens alone. So he is he's like the best putter on these greens out of any player. And at 6,900, he's 7th in fairways gained. So he's hitting fairways. And last year, I think he took 3rd place. Like, there's a reason his stats are lining up with his skill set for this event. So I like me some Brian Harmon.
Okay,
and
I get behind him.
You know, when you can make putts, that means you're getting birdies. So even if he gets the 45th, we know he's going to be scoring, even at that 45th position.
Dig it. Just kind of flipping through ownership.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Keegan Bradley's in a good little stretch of golf here. Don't mind him. If I was going real low, Joel Dahmen's interesting at 6,700. I do like me some Joel Dahmen.
Speaking of Joel Dahmen,
good ball striker, fairway finder. He can have his stretches of really bad golf though. So, you know, if I was playing anybody at 6,700 though, for me it's Sebastian Munoz. I'm just going to continue to ride his form. He has 3 straight top 25 finishes.
Nice.
Actually just took 26 at the Arnold Palmer.
Oh, you're a liar.
Just mixed it. And right now, the only thing he's lacking is his putter, which is, you know, a volatile stat. So if he figures that out, I really do like Sebastian Munoz. Outside of that, I don't think I'm going to be dipping too much lower than 6,700 this week.
But what about all the way down at 61?
All right.
There's a pretty crazy story out there about Ryan Brem earning his tour card.
Yeah, I saw that. It was awesome. His
I
wife
just
was
read
in the
that right
ride.
while I was waiting. The boys were taking a shower before bed, before the bedtime story, and I was flipping through just some articles. So I was prepared for you this week, my friend.
Yeah,
And I read a pretty crazy story about Brem, basically taking down a PGA Tour and earning his card with his wife on the bag.
that's great, man. I love the story.
Yeah.
It's still not going to get him enough to get into
Oh
my
gosh.
my
Yeah.
DraftKings lineups at the
I
players.
think maybe he's a little overmatched in this field, but it's a great story.
I think so too. And he won at 20 under. I don't think you're putting that type of numbers up. And the green speed was Velcro. Um,
Right.
and it was Paz
But I do
Pellegrini.
encourage people, if you are listening to this, just Google Ryan Brem and read the story about how he prepared for that final match and the mental games he played with his wife about each 3 holes was an individual match. And, if he got a birdie or better, he got a point. If it was worse, she got the point. And, just how to keep his head in the game. It's a
I
really
like
cool
it.
article.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
Yeah, but like I said, just still not enough to get him into
no,
my player pool this week.
I just had a
But,
nugget
yeah,
for
it
you.
was a
And
really
it's
cool
rare that
story.
I have a nugget. So there you
That
go.
is rare.
You got a
Plug
nugget.
it in, man. Get
You
your
got
plugs
it.
in. All right, so what do we got, man? Let's finish this lineup.
All right, we got 7,900 if we leave Gooch and Connors in there. Did you
All
want to
right.
swap any of them out for anybody lower than that? I feel pretty good about that. Let's look
I
up at
like it.
79.
And you know what? Let's
You got
let's
Burns right there at the top. You got
we
Burns
do
there.
have
You
Burns.
got Day
Okay.
there. We got Casey.
And Burns is just so freaking good on Bermuda greens. Um, even last week he took 6 strokes on the greens alone, and they
All
were
right.
Bermuda par 72. It's just this is what he does is he competes at courses that have Bermuda greens, and he's like, I think the last 5 of his Bermuda performances are all in the top 10. So that's the upside you're looking for. But if you wanted to leave some salary on there for yourself, I think the play to Jason Day, Sergio Garcia, and Webb Simpson. Those would be my 3 options underneath him. So I will let you make that decision. You got to do some things for yourself, Danger. That's life.
Hey,
And
I picked Koepka.
that's true. You
I
know what?
picked
You did. That did
Gooch.
not come from me. That
I
did
picked
not come from
Gooch.
me.
I picked Koepka. All right. I'll pick. So you did 50. I did 50. That means I owe you $100 if we take this down. I think that's what that means.
That's fair, man.
All right, fair. I think so. I think it's fair. So,
Yeah, that's pretty much it, though. I don't have much else to go on. Let's just get to it. I'm ready to see some golf. Quit talking about the weather. I mean, we can't control it.
nope.
Golfers are going to golf how they golf, and
Yep.
we're just here to enjoy it. Just not be
All right.
so on our heads about it. Let's just set the lineups, go to sleep, wake up, and watch some fun.
All right. I dropped Jason Day in there. I don't know if you're looking at the screen. I dropped him in there. I love the narrative. I want to root for the man, winning one for his mom. I want it.
That's what I'm talking about. Buy into the narrative.
I'm going to say, Gooch makes the cut, finishes like 28th, but finishes top 10 in scoring.
Ooh.
Because he's going to score, double bogey. Score, double bogey. Right?
I can see that.
All right. Three birdies and a double bogey. He's going to do that like 4 times.
Before we go, Danger, do you think there is a hole in one this week?
Ooh, a hole in one. I mean, maybe, right? I mean, the greens are going to be ultra sticky.
That's what I'm saying. If it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen on round 1 or 2.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes. There's been a lot of hole in ones this year already.
There has been a lot of hole in ones. I feel like every tournament there's been one.
I'm going to say yes. Yes, sir.
Will there be a wire-to-wire winner?
No.
Not happening. Not with these conditions.
No.
Nope.
No way.
Okay.
I would also place a prop bet on a Monday finish.
Ooh, I like that. All right. One more question. What do you think the winning score will be?
All right. You said, you were thinking 16 earlier. You got that stuck in my head. I think, man, this field is so strong. I'm going to go 18 under.
You know what, man? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go to 12 because I think some golfer is going to go off and get to like 12 under by Friday. And
Yeah.
we're going to think they get to 16, but really, like, that number is just going to get worse and worse, kind of like it did at the API. So I'm going to stick with 12. I'm going to say 12 under is the winning score.
All right, I'm going up. I'm thinking it's a great field. I mean, obviously we're going to have Jason Day and Adam Scott playing in a playoff, getting me all those extra points.
Oh my goodness, that'd be wonderful.
And it's going to end on Tuesday because it's just going to keep tying and tying and tying and tying. That'd be funny. All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you being here.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate the one Mr. White that showed up, not the other who didn't show up for the third week in a row, Adam. I'm not going to let you live it down.
Killing us, man.
But I was ready this week. I promised you I would be. And here I was.
I appreciate it.
I was. Love it.
Thanks, man.
All right, buddy. Well, we will talk to you probably throughout the week since I put this lineup up in for real and promised you half the spoils if it wins. So there it goes.
Sounds good, dude. All right. I will catch you later. Enjoy the players.
I will. I'm Johnny Danger, and with me is Coach White for In the Cup. Brought to you by drroto.com, your daily prescription for fantasy sports. Go check it out. We've got some great specials going on right now that'll get you paid through baseball, through golf, through the end of football season even, and get into our members-only Discord. It's the place to be. All right, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.